Hello, family and friends. Today we're going to be looking at the Candy Tuft. I have some dianthus here too, but we're going to be talking about the Candy Tuft because it's a beautiful plant. It's a evergreen ground cover, and it blooms like crazy in the spring. We get a lot of blooms going into the spring and into the midsummer. Now, these Candy Tuft have a nice cluster blooms on them. And when they're not blooming, you get a beautiful foliage that's evergreen. Now, these blooms here, if I can get it in focus, you can see that each one of these stems is like a little bouquet of blooms, and it's beautiful. And if you look down between those blooms, you see those little yellow dots, kind of yellow green dots. Those are the blooms that haven't opened yet. Now, the Candy Tuft is a beautiful evergreen ground cover. Um, and we're going to be putting a drift around our tree out front. Let's try to keep these focused. And when you're planting these, you want to dig your hole twice the size and put in some good garden soil. We have been using these for several years, and we have a drift going around our tree out front. And a couple of them got damaged. Uh, Maybe animals or something like that, but we have a few empty spaces and we're going to be closing those in. So if you're ready for that, we can take you along on this journey. And we can get this drift filled in so that we have a solid ring around the tree. When you plant these, dig your hole twice the size and put in some good garden soil. They can keep them moist for the first year and then water once a week. They're sturdy plants down to 30 to 40 degrees. They can handle that. And the average size is between 4 to 6 inches high, 12 to 15 inches wide. And on that spacing, the 12 to 15 inches, that's when they will just begin to touch and fertilize every spring. We're going to take a look and see what spaces that we're going to, and look here. These were from seeds that blew over and rooted up next to the tree. And we have a few spaces that we're going to fill in so that we have a solid drift. And what's down here now has gotten nice and wide. And this space here, I'm going to put 3 in that section and another one over here. And here's some other seeds that blew over close to the tree. And we're just going to let them stay there and see what happens. And in the big empty spaces, we have hostas coming up. But for right now, we're going to fill in these empty spaces so that we have a solid drift of Candy Tuft going around the tree. Okay, so I got these 3 here. And over on this spot, I was debating on transplanting this to that spot there, but I think I'll just let it stay since it's already established, and I'll just get another plant to put in there and have a drift close to the tree and a drift on the perimeter of the bed. So I have these in place and they're ready to be planted. And these, what we'll do is dig the hole twice the size. But before you do anything, you want to pull your mulch back so that you don't get soil on top of the mulch. we have these ready. And ordinarily I would have the hole twice the size and put in some good garden soil, but the soil has already been amended and they're ready to go. And they're closer than they would be, closer than the tag says, but because I just want a nice solid drift going through, going around this tree. So we have the holes ready to go, and we got those planted. So now all I have to do is put the mulch back in place. Now remember, when you're planting, you don't want the soil to come above the root ball, and you want to avoid putting the soil against the plant because that encourages rot. It'll hold moisture. So with the mulch, when I'm next to the plants, it's very thin, touching the plants. But I have a nice 2-inch layer of mulch here so that when I don't have to water as much. But you just don't want to pile it up on the plant though. So got everything planted, and we're going to get another look at this drift. And I like what I'm seeing. And there's some other spaces. We may get a few more plants, but it is early in the spring. We could just let it fill in. But so far, so good. This is our drift around the tree, and we'll be watering these. We'll be watering these once a week, and the ones that were just planted, we'll make sure that they stay moist um, for a whole year, and then once a week once we start watering. So I have some stones around the light to keep our solar light in place. And this is another look at the drift. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when our videos are being posted. Enjoy your day.